clip light.
All right, so we're gonna try to make that scoop functional on there. I got that on eBay. It's available. Buy it on there. It replaces that plastic cap on top. So what I did, I went ahead and I found another Airbox on eBay used, so I can cut it up and not have to worry about that one. So if we fuck it up or whatnot before I tell anybody else what to do. So I'll take the top part apart. You're gonna take off all these little screws. They're T25 little Torx bit, come right off. Pretty well indented. Probably what I'm gonna end up cutting out. We're gonna see what we got there. So we're gonna work on making that scoop functional. I found it on eBay. It's available on there. I didn't make it. I just replaced that top plastic cover. I got an extra Airbox so I can experiment with this to make that thing functional, as it is open. So buy an Airbox, take all the little screws out, like T25 Torx bits. It's already indented, probably about what I'm gonna cut out right there. So anyway, I split this apart. These things, you can just basically got a little locking tab and you can squeeze that. These are rubber, and squeeze them right out the bottom. The rear one has a little hose configuration on it. So this is the piece that goes through. You can squeeze, once you pull out the inner tube that's inside of there, that goes to this guy. Pull out your little plastic piece that goes in there. That way then you can just squeeze that and pull it through the inside. But it all comes out like that. On my other one, I already got that taped up anyway. That way it just doesn't blow oil into that fucking throttle body. If you pull it off and you take these out, you can see that there's already oil stains, even at like 1,000 miles. So helps keep that out of there. You could leave it hooked up just inside the Airbox in general. Whatever it is going to get gummed up, or you just leave it open. I left mine open and have the hose pointing down. Maybe do a little catch can setup. You pull this off, pull your filter off now. The bottom part, this is your intake. This is where it goes out to the side. So I'm going to cut this off to get the rubber piece off, and then this somehow is either glued or melted on. So we're going to take that off and close up that hole right there so that it's only getting air from the top. That's off of there. Probably won't need this anymore. I'm not going to use any of this anymore. All these little things. And actually you can get a cap and just cap that off. That way it has to pull through here. I don't know any other way. Honestly, I don't know if you can see in there. You can actually see all the oil build up in there. I don't know if the camera catches that or not. But towards where that hole's at, there's a lot of oil build up. This one's going to end up clean and smooth all the way through. So take yours off, you can definitely see it. Nonetheless, take this off and find a way to plug that up. And I guess we'll see what we're going to use. I'm not sure if it's melted or glued. We'll find out. Alright, so I went ahead and chopped away with the bottom side here. It's not as flat, it still has the flange. It looks like it might just be actually melted on there. I don't think that's epoxy or anything. I tried with a chisel, sort of hit it in there, really didn't do any damage to it. So the inside still got that. So what I'm thinking, I'm just gonna make a circle, plastic circle here, and epoxy that on there, just cap it off flat. You could get a big cap that off, make sure you hose clamp it on tight. This one I don't mind taping. Get some good duct tape or something. It has a lot of surface area, so you're not worried about it pulling through. This I wouldn't tape that off because there's not a lot of surface area. It could eventually overheat time, the fucking adhesive weaken, end up sucking that shit through the motor. So you want to make sure you cap that off solid. I'm gonna cap both of those off. This one, it's optional to you if you want to or not. You can always just leave the nipple sticking in there from this guy if you really want to. But we're going all out, so fuck it. Or honestly, you could probably just stick that bitch back on there too if you really wanted to. That's gonna cap it off. There'll be another intake filter for it. You can have either or. I guess there's really nothing wrong with doing this either. Got to cap it off, still filter it. That goes there. So there's one way to do it too. More air is more air. That might be what we do for now. So fuck it. But I do like the idea of the open side. I'm curious to see what that's gonna look like. So I'm gonna stick all this shit back together. I'm gonna go take the tank off, see what it looks like, see what we got to cut off on this thing. and we're gonna figure out what filter we need as well. Probably like a lawnmower filter. All right, so I got the tank off and I bolted the upper lid to there. Use a silver Sharpie to mark out where that opening is on this. It's pretty well self-explanatory nonetheless. I also happen to have an air filter for a lawnmower at the house I never used. Brand new, conveniently. Looks like it would fit right there. And essentially just gonna use the tank as pressure fit, hold it down in there. That's what's gonna seal it up to that, as long as we get, I'll take it all off anyway. It looks like it's gonna fit perfect in there. As far as tank holding the seal down. So we're gonna go ahead and cut, well, I need to mark this shape on there. I'll cut it out and I'll fit it all back together, see how it happens. Alright, so we got the hole cut. Make sure you clean off all the burrs and stuff. You don't want that shit flying in the motor. Again, this is your filter. So it'd be past your filter, and filter fits in nice and snug in there. If you put this up, we're gonna line up the bolt holes. It would press fit all except for this top, but it's still gonna hold the top, seal it all up. So that's gonna work out great, I believe. It's actually thinner. It's a little bit harder, but it's still thinner than the foam little bushing there they have. Basically just anti-rattle. So that'll hold all that down. I think it'll be good. Probably actually could get away with maybe cutting just the tips off there so that it sits in there a little bit flusher, but I'm gonna see how it fits if I need to. That's be the last thing anyway before the tank goes on. So if we need to, we need to. If not, then we won't. But I'll try to figure out a part number for this thing or options that are about the same size. That's gonna be that. Not at all. Not the least bit.
Was it Uber? No, it wasn't Uber X. It was Amazon had their own brand for it.
For the delivery people.
Yeah.
Alright, so I got it all done, rode it home. There is some noticeable intake noise. It just sounds like the valves more than anything. Kind of like a little rumble in there, under there. So be prepared for that if you want to do it. Got it all done, seems to work. Next is getting different bolts here. Shoulder bolts, taking this off. Kind of leave that out. See what that looks like clean, or maybe just put something there to dress it up. But you do have to keep bolts in there, as those do hold your front subframe to the motor. So there she is.